Hi everyone, I'm Jody Barrows and welcome to what you might call late night shopping. We have a brand new fabric collection that is here. We have been oohing and ahhing over it since August, and in August I actually did a video showing how the new line of fabrics will go with the past and current lines that we have. So that way if you needed to mix something together that you have in your stash or even purchase something new to go along with the new ones, then you would know what was happening. So feel free to go back into the squareinasquare.net website, which is our teaching website. Go to the webinar sections and look for August or for the new fabric line, and you can see you that are brand new to me. I'm Jody Barrows. I've been in the quilt world all of my adult life, almost 40 years now. I have been teaching and designing fabrics and writing the books and the patterns and so on. Now the Square in a Square system is a whole system or method of creating all the different pieced units, triangle units that you need for every quilt. And what we do is we bring you speed and we bring you accuracy. We bring you all kinds of tips and hints and ways for you to accomplish quilts that normally you would just stand back and look at in awe and think, if only ever I got good enough. Well, let me tell you, it doesn't have anything to do with your skill level. It has to do with learning the Square in a Square system, where we help improve the human element, even remove it sometimes, so that you can get fast, fun, fabulous, and finished quilts. Now these quilts that you see behind me over here, these are the ones that are using the new fabric that I'm going to be showing you tonight. I'm going to be showing you how they go together and just doing the reveal or the launch or the promotion of the new fabric line. Now we do, before I get into that, we do have a teaching club. We have the Premium Club, which is an all year long thing, and then we have our Quilt Club Week, which is a smaller version of our Premium Club. And if you would like to know more about that, you can go to our website of squareinasquare.com and get more information and pricing and all of those things. If you have questions, we may be able to handle that tonight, but that's a good place to go to get the information. And you'll notice the squareinasquare.com is where our products are. That's where you're going to go to order the fabric. And the squareinasquare.net is where the teaching is at. Two different websites that do two different things for you. One teaches you, and one is where you purchase those goodies. Okay.
Let's check our sound.
All right. Steve says,
we don't have any sound.
let's check our sound. Oh, no. So I'm just going to kind of keep.
Is yours on?
Oh, I think it's on. It looks a little different.
I'll bring it.
Did you change batteries? Okay, check it now. How's our sound? That could have been operator error on me. How's it look now? Everybody let us know how the sound is now. That could have been me not running my microphone the way that I want.
I have sound.
Has everybody got sound now?
I got one person.
Let us know. Go on.
Sound is good. Sound is good.
Sound is good. Sound is good. Okay, great. So we're just going to start over again and play like we're just getting started here. So welcome. Someone said that they were looking forward to shopping in the warmth of their home. And Petra, it's midnight in Germany, so it's a midnight shopping spree for her. So let me tell you guys, for those of you that are new, I'm Jody Barrows. I've been in the quilt world for 40 years. I've been developing tools and systems, the Square in a Square system, writing books and patterns, and I've been doing fabric for about the past 20 years. Well, probably about 25 years now. And I do not work with a fabric house. I have in the past. I do it all now through my own fabric house called Square Textiles. We have top quality quilt shop fabric. It's premium cotton. The dyes are steadfast. I've been doing my own fabric for many, many years, and I love to work with it because I know that it is good, it is quality, it is reliable, and the colors are not going to fade out or bleed over and cause troubles and issues with my quilt. So it offers everything that you're looking for in top quality premium quilt shop fabric. Now the other thing about mine that's different than the rest of the world is that when I get my new lines of fabric, that is when I do a promotion and sale. So it's always the best time to purchase as much of the fabric as you can because it's at a better price. The fabric is normally $13.95, so 14 bucks a yard, and you're going to get it for $11 a yard from now to the end of January, or as long as supply lasts. I will tell you that I have had lines sell out. I think the quickest one sold out in 8 days. So if there's a piece you're wanting, don't delay.
The 10 yard.
Yes, he's reminding me about the 10 yards, which I'm glad he does. But we also have, because we have so many neutrals and we have so many backgrounds, we know that you're going to want and need a large hunk of these to go into your quilts. And so we have a 10-yard special. So that means you're going to get 10 yards of one fabric. Of course, you pick what you want, and you're going to be able to get that for, is it 99 or 100? $99. So that's less than $10 a yard. So think about it. If you order 9 yards of fabric, you're going to pay 9 yards of fabric at $11, $99. If you get 10 yards, you're going to get it for that under that $100 and get an extra yard. So if you're thinking up to really anywhere from that 6 to 9 yard of a piece of fabric, you might as well go ahead and order the 10 yard because it's a better value for you. So let me go ahead and talk about the pricing, and then we'll get into showing the fabrics. The fabric, I'm using round numbers here, okay? Fabric is normally $14 a yard. You're going to get it for $11, and if you purchase a 10-yard piece, you're going to get it for basically $10 a yard. The 4 yards and up, that is the pricing on that. And so you're going to get 4 yards of this, 4 yards of whatever that you want, 5 yards, 6 yards, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 is that special price. Now we do have a special on the 3-yard pieces. Now the 3-yard pieces, you can't buy just one piece and get it on special. We have 2 different bundles, or a bundle that is all of it. So we have the Diamond Dot collection, so that would be 1 bundle of 3 yards, and we have the Classic Floral collection, which would be a 3-yard piece of all of those florals. So we're going to look at those here in a minute. We're going to talk about the numbers that they are in the computer. We're going to mix them together so you can see which ones look nice. We're going to even throw in some fabrics from past collections or current collections so that you can see how it can mix with your stash. Anytime you have any questions, go ahead and type that in there, and we'll see if we can get the answer for you. Hopefully we can do it now and not later. So I started designing fabric because I wanted to have the quantity of fabrics that I needed for my students and for my teaching and for the quilts that I quilt. I also wanted to create what I wanted to use. I wanted to create the pieces that you actually use in a quilt. If you think about a big fabric collection from a fabric house, they'll have anywhere from 25 to 40 bolts in that collection, and not all of those are bolts that actually the consumer is going to use or buy. And so if a quilt shop happens to buy all of those bolts for the whole collection, they're going to sell out of the most popular ones, and then the ones that are left there on their shelf, being shelf decoration in their shop, is what we in the quilt world call the dogs. And so you have you spend all you as a quilt shop, they have to have all of that money to pay for those that are just sitting on their shelf. So I only design the fabrics that you're actually going to use in a quilt, not the ones that are going to decorate your quilt shop, if that makes sense. So let's talk about these quilts, and then we'll get into the fabrics. Now this one here is called Rooster Tail. It's a brand new option. This right here is the Rooster Tail option. It kind of goes in line of what we did last spring, so a year ago, when we did the bat wings, the butterflies, the dragonflies, and so on. This is the Rooster Tail. It is a new one. You're going to see here in a few minutes when I show you some of the quilts, this actual shape and kind of how we do it. That's not the point of the video today, to show you how it's for the fabric, but we'll show you a little bit of it. And this one uses the Purple Paradise, which is on special on the website. It's a past fabric, but because we have it in these quilts, and I want you to be able to get the fabric at the best price. And that's another thing is that I really want you to be able to get the fabric at the best price, and that's when the fabric first comes out. And that's why I'm doing the 3 different Paradise fabrics on a special. Now you have to buy a quantity of it. You have to buy the 8 yards that you need for the back and for the top and the borders and everything, but I do have it at $10 a yard for that 8-yard piece. So I want you to get the best price, and so that is from now to the end of January or until the fabric is gone. So this one is Rooster Tails, and this is one that we're going to be teaching in Premium Club. And this one right here is the Ladybug design. Let's move the camera over just a little bit so they can see a little bit more of Ladybug. And this one is the Ladybug. Now this one does use the diamond shapes. You can see how you start getting that motion and movement with those diamond shapes. You can kind of see some of that here, this big, let's see, the big loop goes around like that. And then of course you can see it coming through here, this loop right here. So when you work with the diamonds, you start getting those curves and that motion and that movement. Now this one here, this is called Liz's Gift, and it's in the Melee Women book, and this is the very first one that we're going to be teaching starting January 12th in the Premium Club. And it uses fabrics that we have in stock and in-house. And that also reminds me, we are ready to start shipping fabric. We will start shipping by Friday, I'm sure, Saturday, Sunday, and so on. We will start shipping all of the fabric. We also have payment plans, and if you want to take advantage of that, it's like a layaway plan, and there's no interest on it, and you can do that too. Of course, the fabric doesn't get shipped until it's paid for. It's like layaway. We hold on to it and save it for you. You put a deposit on it, and then when it's paid for, then we ship it. So if you're in Premium Club or you're in Quilt Club Week and you've chosen one of these to do your fabric for that quilt on a separate order so that we can ship it ahead, and then put your other pieces on layaway, because we want you to be able to start sewing on your quilt when we start that project. Now, last spring we did a quilt called Watershed, which you can kind of see a little bit right there. And then we also did one called, it's like a double storm at sea on the diagonal or on point. We also did one called Homestead Star. Now, the reason why I'm bringing those up is those quilts were all about 70 by 70 in size, and these are about that same size. And we had 3 fabrics. We had a 4-yard, a 4-yard, and a 4-yard. And we'll talk about quantities of fabrics here in just a minute. So we have a question from Pamela. Could you hold the pink bird next to the rooster tail quilt to give us an idea if we want the pink? Yes. Help me remember, but I will get to that. Okay, so I kind of forgot where I was at. On the quantities of fabrics. So let's think about, we've done this before, and I've even had handouts on it, but if you want to write this down, get a pen and paper so that you can write this down. So a quilt that's approximately 70 by 70, you'll need 12 yards of fabric, and so think about 4-yard, 4-yard, 4-yard. A light, a medium, and a dark. And to me, that is the least amount for a quilt of any size. I shouldn't say of any size. Of a quilt of any bigness to the size. You need that. And so I would say that's for like a around a full size quilt.
14 yards.
These have 14s, but that's counting the back.
Oh, yeah.
So really you're getting, and this brings me to, these each have 14 yards, but that's counting the back of the fabric. And that brings me to the point that as we talk about quantities of fabric and what you need. So let's talk about a 4-yard piece. So you can see like 4 yards for a background of a quilt about this size. And then let's also think about on a border. Let's just go through certain parts of the quilt and what kind of fabric what quantity of fabric you need for that quilt. So let's say that you have a quilt that is 70 by 70. you're going to, and you're doing a border on it. So let's say you're doing a larger border like you see here, maybe a 5-inch or a 6-inch border for the outside edge. So you're going to need at least 7 strips. If you cut your strips selvage to selvage, you're going to need at least 7 of those, most likely 8. So if you have to cut 8 strips and they're 6 inches, then 6 times 8 is 48. You need 48 inches. That's 10 more inches than a yard. If you cut them 5, that's 40 inches. That's still more than a yard. So when you think about a big border, you need about 1.5 yards for that border. And then if you have a 4-yard piece, you know that that you have, what would that be, 2.5 yards left that you could use inside the quilt somewhere. Now let's talk about sashing. Sashing is when you have, let's just say a 3-inch cut. It's going to sew down to 2.5, or 2.5 that sews down to a 2. And that's like the little strips that you put between the blocks. That's called a sashing. You're going to need 2 yards for sashing fabric. You don't realize you need that much fabric, but that's what you need for a regular quilt of average size. So if you need 1.5 yards for your border and you need a 2-yard for any sashing that's going to be in the quilt, you know, you're already at 3.5 yards right there. And so a 4-yard piece is not too much when you're thinking about a quilt and the bigger pieces to go in it. Now when I'm buying background fabric, like I said, I will buy, and it's just for that quilt of average size, I will get at least 5 to 6 yards of it, and 6 yards if there's enough on the bolt. If I'm out quilt shopping or whatever, I would try to buy at least 5 and into that 6 yards if I can. And remember, we have our neutrals and our backgrounds on sale for that special price if you're getting those 10-yard pieces. Okay, and then you need to think about pieces in your quilt. So here you can see how we have this medium kind of thrown in through the quilt, the purple bird, and it we have a 4-yard, I think it's a 3 or 4 yard piece for that, for the inside. And this black one here, you can see how we have it as the points, and in here, and then some bigger pieces here, and then a larger piece in here. We have 4, is it 4 or 5 yards on that one? If you were part of the club and you watched this morning, you got some handouts with all these fabric amounts.
They have them too.
And okay, and you have them too in the.
If you got the email.
If you got the email, and that's well, it's 4 yards for the black. So you can see how this 4-yard piece is actually the beginning piece that you need to start with when you start thinking about quantities of fabrics. And I like to, like on this purple bird, the pink or the orange, I like to use that one as an example. So if you have like an 8-yard piece, you know, maybe you need a little bit more than 4, or maybe a little bit more than 5 yards, just a little bit for your back. And then you have those, maybe you need a little bit more than 1 yard for like the top or the border or whatever. So when you get that all together in one piece, instead of thinking about it separately and buying them separately, you actually usually can get away with purchasing a yard less because you have it all together. And so it kind of blends over into the other pieces, and the leftover of this you can use, and the leftover of this one you can use. Hopefully that makes my point a little bit. So yes, Pamela, let's look at these 3 different Paradise fabrics and the ones that you can use to go with them. And so you can make your rooster in the purple and your ladybug, or in the pink or in the orange. So let's look down here at these, and let's look at what we're actually using. And let me see if I can find my piece. Okay, so for the purple one here, we've got 3 grays, and these are the 3 grays. We have the floral, we have the diamond dot, and the diamond dot. And also on a handout from this morning and tonight, you got this sheet, and if you want to write these numbers on here, we're going to go through these numbers and you can write them on your sheet. So this one right here is the 337516. And that's this one, that's the floral. Then you can see here how it's darker than what it shows up here. And this is really a beautiful, beautiful, I'm going to say medium steel gray. It looks great with the purples. It would look great with like a vibrant blue. As we were running this on the machine, it was just really, really pretty to see the whole group of it run through the fabric. And of course, this one, the lightest one is 16 and the darkest one is 95. So let's just put those up there next to that. You can see how all of those look good. This lighter one is going to make it a little bit more delicate. This one makes it a little bit richer. And then this one here is the black diamond dot that goes with it. And of course, you can see all of that in the quilt. And the black diamond dot is 93. I like this one because it adds just a little bit different texture to it. But you can see here in a few minutes how even putting all these diamond dots together in one quilt is really very pretty. So here you can see how all of those blend and look good together. So now let's bring that down to the orange. And remember, you can get an 8-yard piece of these and get it for $80, and so that's going to save you some money. Now you can go with the grays with the orange. Those all look really pretty with the black. We also have some aqua diamond dot from past collection that we have in-house that you could add with it that is kind of pretty. But I also think with these oranges, some of these other neutrals would look pretty. Let's put some of these other ones up there and see if you like any of them instead of the gray. So if you kept the black, and we have a lighter orange, it's called Orange Slice. And then you can see how that one, and there you can see with the orange how these can all go together and blend. Now in this photo right here, I want you to notice how these are very close. This one is tan. So if you have, let's just go ahead and look at our sheet, and if you're writing this down, anytime you see tan, it is lighter than the ones that say dirt. Just think about dirt being a little bit dirtier, a little bit darker. So this one is the classic floral. It's 3375, number 31. This one is the dirt, and it's number 32. And then this one here is the classic diamond dot, number 34. And then this one here is number 33. Now I want you to notice how on the handout, it looks a little more solid looking than this one. And I was telling them this morning in class that this one is just like eating a salted caramel. This is just so smooth and creamy and fun to work with. I have a quilt here that I've been working with, and I've used this as my basic or my background, and it has just been really, really fun to work with. And just really pretty in the quilt. Okay, so now let's look at the pink. Okay, so there's the pink. You can see it's quite striking with the black. And then there's the diamond dot in the medium gray. And then here it is in the lighter one. And I just think this one looks really pretty with the pink. It just looks very delicate and dainty. And I know that on my monitor, the pixels are picking this up kind of jumpy. It's kind of like a check. And I apologize for that.
I don't see it on mine.
You don't see it, so it's just on mine? Okay, good. Now, when we use these, especially like right here, you see the paradise bird jumping out. But when I use these and cut these, let's look up here at the quilt. I just cut it just like you normally do. Just cut your strips and then cut your squares or whatever it is that you need. and the fabric just played where it laid. An old golf term, play it where it lays. And so that's how I did it on this one. Even on the borders, you can see up here on this one, I've got the border on a couple of sides of it, so that you can see it, the final outcome a little bit. And I'll do the same thing here with the rooster tails. I'll do the same border of light, medium, dark. But I just cut it wherever, and I didn't pay attention to any direction or anything like that. Just cut it and sew it on like a regular piece of fabric. So before we move on from our paradises, anything anybody needs to see or look at? Pamela, did you get your question answered? Let's go in. That one is really pretty with it too. Steve, let's look at that. That one is really pretty with it too. So I guess it's just a personal preference whether you like the lighter diamond dot or the more richness of the floral. More delicate, a little bit richer. Okay, so let's look at them in order of what they are. I'm going to try to show you lots of different things so that you can see how you're wanting to do your shopping. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention is that I've seen a lot online from summer till now about people talking about that they don't know where to go online to order their fabrics because they don't know what they're going to get. They want to be able to see it. They want to be able to feel it, you know, play with it, match it together, all of that. And they were like, you know, our quilt shops are closing, our Joann's is gone. There's rumors that Michael's going away in the coming year. And so it's going to be difficult to have different places. If you're lucky enough to have a little local quilt shop or a nice big quilt shop around, but it's getting more difficult for us to find our fabrics. We still love them, we still want them, we still want to go in and play in our stash. We get a lot of enjoyment just from the fabric. Steve's teasing me this week every time we come to the warehouse to roll fabric and get the fabric through the different production line to get them ready to ship. I'll walk by a stack, and every time I walk by, I just do this, you know, as I go by. So that's definitely something that we get enjoyment from. So I'm really glad that I can have the confidence to tell you guys that the fabric is great fabric. You don't have to worry about it. You know, it's going to be color fast. It's going to be a good quality. One lady was having some issues with a quilt, and she had to she said she had too many dates with Jack, you know, Jack the Ripper, the ripping out the seams. And she said, I'm sure glad I was using your fabric because it's a good quality fabric. And she said it held up to her having to rip it out and put it back together. And I was like, wow, I never even thought of that aspect. Sometimes you have to rip a fabric out 1 or 2 times and it's just lost its life. It can't give anymore. And so, you know, you have that issue to work with. So that was another level of the good quality fabrics. And then of course with our promotion, you're going to get them at the best price. Okay, so we have 2 lines in this new fabric. One is called the Classic Diamond Dots. So let's look down here. There's 9 of them. So this one is the very lightest of them, the gray diamond dot here. And this one is number 337, oops, I'm sorry, 5503 is our diamond dots, and it is number 16. And then our next one in the diamond dot is this one on the very end. It's 33, and it starts, it says tan. When you look at it, it says tan. So you know that it is a lighter background with the print being the little bit darker. These are great basics, good neutral colors. You need to get 10 yards of these. This one is our tan with black. And as I was working with this and putting it with some stuff, I don't think I have anything too much. But it is just really, really a great one to work with. I don't know that you would think about buying this for a background, but look at this one with our flaming bud. Just how beautiful that is. Just enough of a print. It's like kind of like that salt over the top of something sweet. It just is an extra flavor and an extra balance that just really makes that just taste wonderful, look beautiful. And you can also see, now see, you may think that this one actually goes and blends with it here better, but this one you're actually going to get more design concept with. And then we have our pumpkin, and oh my goodness, have I fallen in love with our pumpkin. This is our pumpkin diamond dot with our classic black on it. And I'll show you a block that has some of these in it later, but here you can see it with the black. Here you can see it with the red. And here you can see it. I'll just put this quilt up over the back, Steve. Let's put it up.
Yeah, somebody was wanting to see it.
Okay. So let's look at this one. So
And
this
somebody has a question on what that quilt is.
on Ladybug. Okay, I'll do Ladybug in just a second. So here you can see from the current fabrics that we have how it all blends with this classic diamond dot. And here you can see some of that pumpkin, and look how pretty it looks in with this past one. I've just really fallen in love with the fall look of quilts, and just it's a different value and richness. And we're going to be doing, I have a whole stack of quilts that I want to do in these fall colors. I've even thought about doing a book of just maybe fall classics or something like that. Okay, we had a question on Ladybug.
The name of that and if you're going to be teaching it.
This one is Ladybug, and it is one that we're going to be teaching in Premium Club. Once again, it's a light, medium, dark, and it's the 4 yards of each. We have 8 yard special on the Paradises, pink, orange, and purple that you can get for that. Okay, let me know if that answered your question on Ladybug. And we'll come back to this shape here in the Ladybug and this diamond shape here in the rooster tail. And in this one, when we teach it, if you have a diamond book, diamond option 33, this is a version of 33. So the whole semester is called Diamonds Galore. Every quilt has one of the diamond options in it. And we're going to do a little bit of a twist on probably about 3/4 of them. So you'll get to see what it looks like in its natural form. And then when we take it and do a little extra to it, then you can see how it develops into a new look. For example, on 33, option 33 is this whole rectangle shape with this diamond in it. And you can see how there's this space in between. So it actually, there's no seams in here. So it actually separates the diamonds out, the stars out, so they look like they are just a star on its own, that it's not connected to the other star. And so that's really a cool option, no pun intended, to have. All right, so this, let's go back down here. This is our pumpkin, and this one here is our number 30. So it's part of the classics. It's our number 30, and it's the 3375. It's the florals, and look, just look at that. How gorgeous. And the gray. I'll let you look at that for just a moment. And then in August, when I was showing you the new fabric that was coming, which is this, the classic florals and diamond dots, I was showing the past fabrics and how they all blend nice together. So this is the little orange floral, and then these are all of the new ones. And this is one of the flaming buds. That looks pretty with that. And then I haven't thought about putting any of the orange with the flag, but you could. It does blend. And this is one of our vines. So I want to do everything I can to help you feel comfortable about the quality of your fabrics and about your color combos. Let's look at...
Before you did the pumpkin, what was the diamond dot?
this one.
What number?
We can just go through them again. So this lightest one is 95, I'm sorry, 16, the lightest one. And then this one is 33, and it will say tan. And this one is 34, and it's tan with black. And then we're on the pumpkin, which is 45, 5503, 45. And then we'll do these classics like that too. And then here we have the red with black, and that would be the 88. This is the one that I keep saying, it takes up residence in your soul. This one right here. It is one that, man, is so, so pretty. It just goes with everything. It goes with the orange, it goes with the neutrals, it goes with the grays, it goes with the black. I'm going to be using the tar out of this, and I'm keeping me one whole roll back for myself. And then we have the red with the dirt, and so that's number 89. And then we have the darker kind of medium steel gray, it's 95. And then we have our black, which is 93, so it's our black tone on tone. So it's the black background with the black kettle black design on it. And this right here, this is exactly the same one we had when we had Paradise, and this one sold out in 8 days. So it didn't last. And some of these are going to be like that. They're not going to last. And then this one is the 99. It's the black with the tan, very elegant, very rich. Just going to be beautiful together. And so those are our diamond dots, and there's 9 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now we're going in with our classics, and I do need to talk to you about this one when we get to it. The numbers are all correct, but this picture is off on it. And this one here, you can see this one is this one. It's the 99. But see, you don't see any red showing up in there. And see, here you can see the red. So it's the black with red and
It says red on
the neutral.
website.
On the website, it has the red. Okay. But for some reason, the red just doesn't show up on that printout. Really, really pretty. Look at these two together right here. Let me see. I've got a sheet with some of those. Let's look.
The red does show up on the website.
The red does?
Uh-huh.
The red does show up on the website, Steve said. Okay, so on this sheet, we can see the black, and we can see the black. And then let's look at our neutral diamond dots. We've got this one that's really pretty, and this one. Just depends on whether you want to go more with the toffee caramel or more with the creamy. And then we have, this one is the tan, the lightest. This one is the dirt, just a little bit darker. And then you could even go with gold if you wanted to go more gold. That we're going. Yeah, that one, I'm going to come back to this one on the sheet here in just a minute. And there's the red one. mercy, mercy, mercy. And then the black. You can see how all of those. And if you like log cabins, I love log cabins, but I have really seen people struggle when they go somewhere, quilt shop or in our booth at a show or whatever. They really struggle with finding enough variety of fabrics that go together to build a log cabin. It's nice, you know, if each log is kind of a different color as you go. And so when I was looking at this one and then also a neutral one, I was like, that is just really, really pretty for a log cabin. And I love different versions and variations of log cabins. And so we'll be doing more of those with the log cabin. If you've, maybe you always wanted to make a Thomas log cabin, which is 4 log cabins that go together, and the half square triangle points that go around, a Thomas log cabin. This one would be really pretty to do like that. Okay, let's look at these down here.
Okay, I got a question.
Okay.
You want to do it?
Let's do the question. I'm a newbie to square and square quilting, so if I was to purchase fabric, say for a project, what would I purchase? That is a great question. So, so are you new with square and square and you're just doing this on your own, or are you in Premium Club?
I don't think she's a premium.
Okay, so if you're just doing this on your own, you can go to squareandsquare.net.
I'm not sure.
Okay, if you're just doing this on your own, you can go to squareandsquare.net and go to the webinar section, and you can go through there, and there's tons of free videos in there, teaching techniques, and so on. If you have any of the books, you can go through the books and pick through there. And so really with the square and square system, every quilt is achievable. So if you, it makes me think about this story from a long, long time ago. Oh, this had to be mid-90s maybe. I was doing a I-70 hop. So that's I-70 goes through Kansas, east through west. Kansas is 500 miles east through west. And I was just stopping at one guild, quilt shop, and just moving my way down I-70. And a lady called me and she said, we've got our books and rulers, we've got sewing machines. She said, we're new to all of this. She said, can we do this quilt that you're going to be doing when you're here? And it was very much like this one right here. It was the Desert Star out of the first book. And she said, it's diamonds and it's got these long thin points. And she's like, can we do this? And I was like, yes. I said, it doesn't matter which quilt you start with. And someone just the other day said that their husband said, oh, that looks like a hard quilt. And she came back and she said, oh, you're so silly. Don't you know with square and square, everything's an easy quilt. But anyway, they were like, can we do this? We just want to know we can do this. And I'm like, we're new. And I'm like, oh, I'm thinking new to square and square, not new to sewing. And I said, okay, that's great. Yes, you can do that. Well, then as the conversation went on, I started asking some more questions. And finally she said, our mother-in-law's bought us new sewing machines for Christmas. And she said, we haven't even threaded them or wound a bobbin. And I said, oh, okay, so you're really new to all of this. And they were like, yes. And I said, okay, have you ever used a rotary cutter? And you know, back in the 90s, not everybody, believe it or not, knew how to use a rotary cutter. And I said, do you have a rotary cutter and do you know how to use it? And they said, we have one, but it's still in the package. And I'm like, okay. I said, if you will open that package of that rotary cutter and get used to using that. And I said, if you will learn how to thread your sewing machine and wind your bobbin, I said, when you get to class, I can teach you the rest. And oh my gosh, they did so good and they were so excited. And it maybe was, I don't know, it was a very short time, whether it was a week or a couple of weeks, it was a very short time later. They actually called and they said, we're going to be at wherever you're going to be at. And they said, we have our quilts finished. So they had them pieced, they had them quilted, they had them, the binding on them. They were done in just a very, very short matter of time. And they said, we want to come and show you our quilts. And they did, and they presented them to whoever it was they were making them for. And it was just really fun to see them from a brand new sewing machine, a rotary cutter in a package, to in just a few weeks having that quilt done. So I tell you that story to encourage you and to let you know that you can be that person too. And to also let you know I was that person back years ago. I loved sewing, I had made garments, and the reason why I came up with the square and a square is because I was tired of making these quilts with all of these pieces and templates and everything, doing everything exactly the way they told me to do. I was a very accomplished seamstress, but when it came to putting all these different shapes together, I couldn't do it. My work did not look the way that I wanted it to. And I learned that you look at quilts and you think, okay, there's a lot of pieces in there and there's a lot of triangle units, and therefore I can't do that one. You know, I just don't have the skill level, or I don't have the time. And that is so sad. And that's why I came up with the square and a square system, because everybody can do it. We help remove that human element. So back to the question, what quilt do I start with? If you have the ruler with the quick and easy book, go through there and start a small project so that you can get the hang, get your confidence. Go in there and watch the option overview book and make your options. Just kind of go from there. And then as far as the fabrics go, like we talked about, pick 3 or 4 fabrics that you like. As I'm grouping these together, your taste is going to gravitate to the pink, the purple, the black, the neutrals. It's going to gravitate to where your personality is. And pick 3 or 4 fabrics, get 4 yards of each one of them, and then jump in and get going. And just watch those videos, watch those videos, watch those videos. I always tell everybody, if you spend 15 minutes learning what you love, whether you're studying quantum physics or whether you're wanting to learn to sew, if you will spend 15 minutes a day dedicated to it, learning something hands-on, paying attention, focusing, within just a very short matter of time, you're going to be way down the road on learning what you want to learn. And learning is layers. It's layers of learning. You'll learn this layer, and then you'll learn this one, and so on and so on. And that's why I love the Premium Club and teaching online so much, is because I can just keep adding more layers and more layers of learning and keep helping you improve, improve, improve. I mean, this right here is a whole stack of papers that I have printed off just here lately from people who are, you know, this one, I've been following and watching your teaching videos and I'm enjoying them so much. I went to a recent quilt show and looked at quilts with a different eye. We call that a square eye once you start learning how to look at quilts with the square and a square, trying to see how your method could be used in these patterns, and amazingly, all of them. Here are a couple of quilts that I would like to learn how to make and would like for you to help me convert them or adapt them over. Remember, we have the Quilt Text Hotline. It's 817-713-2879, and you can send me a picture, you can send me a question. And the reason why I love this text line over an email is because with our smartphones, it's so easy for you to take a picture, make a video of what you're wanting to do or what you're struggling with, or just to show off and show me what you've learned. And then I can make a video or snap a picture and send something back to you, and I can teach you. So even though we may be thousands of miles away from each other, your teacher can still be right there and help you personally with what you want. And when you find a pattern that you like, and you've picked out fabric, we want you to go in and order your fabric right away so that we can get it shipped off to you and it not be gone. But the sale will go on to the end of the month. So as you look through, end of January. So as you look through the books or go through Pinterest or go to a Facebook page with quilts, as you go through and look at these, see what you like and see if it's the color you like, or is it the design that you like? What is it about that quilt that sparks your interest and builds up that energy inside of you that says, I want to put forth time and money to make that quilt? Send me a picture of it. You're not on your own. There was another one in here I was reading right before we started today. And this one I just thought was so sweet. She said, I'm just in awe of the quality that you and Steve provide. Your customer service, your webinars, your fabrics, your teaching, your classes are all phenomenal. I'm thrilled that I have joined and am a part of the Premium Club. So much inspiration seeing what others are doing on the Facebook group. And so each one of our groups has Facebook pages that you can be a part of. And I always tell everybody to go and join those because you will get motivated. You'll help keep your mojo joing and going. And you can learn from other people of colors that they've put together and so on. So hopefully that's helped you a little bit to feel a little bit more confident about what you want. And then also, if you're very new and you need a little bit more confidence, make a sample of what you're doing. Make sure you've read it right, you've cut it right. Send it to me. I don't mind holding your hand and getting you through it. This is what we do, this is what we love to do, and we can't do it without you, and I can't do it without you asking me questions. So please feel free to do so. Okay, before I forget, I want to show you this and so that you can mark it different. So when you look at your page, this one right here, number 34, has the gray and the floral. This is the wrong picture here. It's this maize. It's the gold one is maize, and it's number 337534. And this is on the website. It says maize, but it's this picture.
It might be that.
Yeah, so we'll make sure that it's got the correct picture, but I just want you to know that all of this beautiful mazy goldy yellow color, it's all like a tone on tone, and it's 337534. So the one with the orange and the gray is the 30, and that is this one right here. Okay, so let's get back to looking at our florals. So we have our black with our red and our neutral. And then we have the maize, which is number 34. Just look at that, how beautiful that is. And look at it with this one. This one is Flaming Bud. Maybe tan is what it's called. And then this one is Flaming Bud, and it's gold. But just really a really pretty richness and softness with those two together. And then we have this one, which is another love this with the neutrals. It's the number 33. So let's look at some that go nice with it. So we have the floral. We have the black with tan, and we have our black diamond dot. Look how beautiful. This is one that if you're looking for a log cabin one, this one is really, really pretty. We have, you can use one of your florals, another one of your, so we have 1, 2, 3 of our diamond dot, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 2 of our florals. And then if you need a little zinger, you can add the red in there if you have like a little spark that you need. Those are all really pretty together. And then the lightest one is 31, and it will say tan. And the darker one is 32, and it says dirt.